Hello again, John with you, and it's time now for build update number 2 of the ZVEZDA's T-14 ARMATA. In build update number 1, I'll show you, we've gotten basically this far. These things happen. Didn't break anything, thank God. But anyway, this is as far as we've gotten. Okay. We've got no suspension or anything, but we've got the turret made. Okay, it all works. We've got the engine deck and all that, the top deck fit to the bottom section. So what we're going to get done now in this update, we're going to get the construction finished off. Okay, so I'm going to be starting off with, well, I'll just bring this down, excuse me now, just bring this down to the table. Okay, we're going to get step 20 done and step 21. Okay, we're going to start with those two. There's quite a lot there, so we'll get them done and we'll have a look at them. Okay, we've got a couple of little sub-assemblies to get done first. For 20, we've got to get these two pieces here made. Okay, 4 of them, 2 of each. Okay. Where'd they go? No. There's 2 of them and 2 of them. Alright, we do 2 of them first and then we do 2 of these and then we end up with that piece here. Okay. So it's not 4 of the things altogether, it's they get that done twice and then this done twice. So we end up then with 2 identical pieces. They go here on the front. Okay. Then we're on our suspension. Okay, fitting all our suspension pieces in, little caps here to fit in. There's 2 little holes underneath there. I can show them to you there, see them here and here. Okay, there are those little holes. We're fitting in just little covers into those and the front of the mud flap. We've got our return rollers along the top. We've got our suspension parts and the linkage that goes on with them. So that's in step 20. There's quite a lot there. And in step number 21, okay, we're on with the wheels and the drive sprockets and things. Okay, and there's another little unit here in the back. All the sub-assemblies are there for that. It's sort of got some spare track links. We've got the lifting hooks. And then we've got our wheels. There are 2 parts. Okay, so we have all our wheels here to go on as well. We have to make 14 wheels. We have to make 2 of these, which is our idler wheels. Oh, that's on to 22. So we're worrying about 22 or 21. Oh yeah, we were worrying about 21, aren't we? So we've got to get all these done. Okay. Then they go on there like that. Then we're going to have a look at that and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done and I'll be back with you just like that. Hi again. I know I said I'll get back to you when I've got the motorbike outside, when I've got the suspension on and the wheels all ready to do, but I'm in the middle of the wheels at the moment. Actually, I'm down to my last wheel. Okay, just have one more wheel to finish off. And I'll just show you the suspension on this. No, it doesn't work, it's not a working suspension or anything like that. Okay. But they fitted in perfectly, they really did. They really fitted in very, very nice indeed. Just get a bit of light on that. Okay. On the back and underneath then. Okay, that's a bit. Just give the camera a few seconds to adjust. There we go. There we go. That's slightly better to stop there. Oh, that is very, very nice. Nicely moulded. Nice little pegging system inside there. Little slot cut out of the circle as we've seen in lots of other kits. but it was nice and solid. There was no play in it, so you had to kind of push it in and get it in. So there's no play, so they're all perfectly straight. I put them in, and then I measured them off with a steel rule, go along under here, and we've got a straight line on both of them. So thumbs up on that one, thumbs up on that. That's very good. With the wheels, they come in 2 parts. With me, I just glue both parts together, and then with a sanding stick or nail file or whatever it is you use, just take off the sprue gates, then take them off. A lot of people just sand all the wheels individually and then they put them together. If you're going to get a high spot on wheels, they're really only noticeable if, say, they don't match up. Okay, then there's a definite step in the wheel or whatever. So I glue them together. When they're set, then I'll sand off the sprue gates. But because these are a steel wheel anyway, or even if they were going to be a rubber wheel, still give them an old roughing up. Okay, make them pretty rough, not too rough, but rough enough, and that'll be sort of the steel on steel wear anyway. The wheel wear, they will be all kind of scratched up and shiny. But when you use, say, the silver paint on them to make them look as if they were, rubbing off steel on steel, the rough texture gives it a nice finish. Makes it look realistic. It really does. Works wonders on it. So just give them a nice sanding. Find a circular texture, gives it grand, because you don't end up with any kind of deep scours on it, especially if you're using a pretty harsh sander. And you can rub across the both wheels evenly, so there'll be no wear and tear on any one. If you know what I mean, there won't be that little step. And it just makes it so easier. It kind of cuts your sanding time in half as well. Because when I started off, I know that I was sort of getting the wheels out. I think it was one of my first kits was a Tiger tank, and you had all those wheels. And there's certain bits and pieces, as you know yourself with a Tiger, you can kind of glue them together. You can glue all your sets together and then kind of fit them on. They're awkward enough, but you'll get there and you'll get them on. And for sanding, it's much more easier. Some, especially with Tiger and German vehicles, there's so much freaking wheels on the bloody. There you go. Okay, and there's the wheels then. Nicely roughed up. Just give them a rub off your jumper. Let the wife worry about cleaning that. Okay, and there you go. Nicely roughed up. Okay, so that's the wheels done. Next now I got to stick on the drive sprockets, the wheels, and the back plate here and this as well. Now I have decided that I'm going to glue the wheels on, and I'm going to do the track and all that the way I've done it in the last couple of kits that I've done with the Lincoln Length track, whereas I'll actually build a whole lot. I won't put on the next step here. I'm putting on side skirts, but I won't put them on. And what I can do then, once we've all the other little bits and pieces done to it, right, that are not part of side skirts or anything like that, I can go down there and I can paint the whole underside. I can dry it, can be left upside down and everything, the whole lot. So then when I'm doing the top half and the camouflage, I can just mask off the bottom section. And all I got to worry then is about the top. So I won't be worried about drips or anything like that. I got nice even drying because I won't be sort of turning it over and back and all that. So there'll be less handling. So when I'm painting the bottom side, I'll only be handling it at the sides here. And when I'm doing the top, I'll only be handling it under here. So, it works out handy that way as well. And it's easy enough to paint the tracks and the wheels. Paint it all as one, if you know what I mean. And it's easier for building as well, so it doesn't really matter that too much. So I get all that done, I get the tracks on and everything ready, all ready for painting, and then we'll have a look at it, okay? I know I said I'd do all that first, but there was just other little bits and pieces. I wanted to show you the wheels. Like I said, do you know what I mean? When I started off, I'd have done each wheel individually. I never thought about putting them together as pairs. That's a handy little tip if you don't know it. Most people know it, but I mean, there are the odd ones out there that don't. Another little handy tip, I was cleaning my airbrush the other day, and that's the airbrush I use. I know there's a back to it there somewhere, but I prefer using it that way. It's just more comfortable in the hand that way. There's cheap airbrushes, you buy them on the internet, 20 quid from China. Takes a couple of weeks, but they come to you. I've had this one, I've been using this one for the last, since I started airbrushing really. I've had no problems with it. Works absolutely fabulously. And for cleaning it, I just take it apart. It's pretty easy to take apart, very, very simple. When you take off the top here, you got the tiny little nozzle. Take that off with this yoke here. Okay, your little key. Pop off the nozzle, get that out, and you push your needle up through it. There you go. For cleaning that little hole in there, right? What I do is I usually get one of these little cups. Okay, buy them in the pound shop. Put in a bit of cleaner into the bottom of it. Okay. Now the cleaner I use surgical spirit. Buy it from a lot of chemists, drugstores, whatever you want to call them. Okay, surgical spirit, neat. Don't mix it with anything. Works fucking fabulous. Been working on this and it hasn't destroyed it. Surgical spirit neat. Just a small bit in a cup like that. Take off all your parts and put them into that. Just leave them store away. Leave them sit there while you're doing all this. Then back to your pound shop again, or your dollar store if you're in the US, right? You buy these little things, right? They're interdental toothpicks, basically. Fluffy toothpicks, okay? No, they don't last. You know, you get, I think you get 5 of them for £1 or something like that. Yeah, 5 of them. 5 of them for £1. Or €1.50. If you're buying them in Ireland, I don't know what they are in the dollar stores in America, but probably $1. Okay? And you get 5 of them. And you get 1 per clean. Now, how often do you give your airbrush a good deep clean? So you, for $1.50 a set of brushes, cheap as chips. Then just dip it into the white spirit, or the surgical spirit, not white spirit, surgical spirit. Totally different thing. Whew. Dip your little brush into the surgical spirit and give it a good scrub up and down and twist, and you'll see the paint come off in it. Absolutely fucking fabulous, and it gives it a great cleaning. Great little tip, and cheap. Okay, so John's handy tips. And ways to save yourself a few bob, why not? More money than to spend on kits, isn't that it? So anyway, that's right. I'll get them done, the tracks and all that, and then we'll have a look at it. Okay. Okay, I'm after getting all the wheels on there, and I'm after doing the track now as well. Okay, I'm after getting the tracks on. I'm after gluing the tracks in place. I had no problems with them whatsoever. I found them very, very easy to go together. Did have the separate guide horns to put in there. They were quite easy. Just kind of nice little locator marks. They popped in. Tiny bit of clean up, and everything went together absolutely beautiful. It really, really did. Let's have a quick look at that. Okay. As you see, okay, those tracks went on nicely. On to the other side. Okay. Right, so our tracks now are on. Excuse me. So all we've got left to do now are the side skirts. Okay, we've got to make up the side skirts and get them fitted on. There's a tanker's bar there to go on. And also then we've just got the engine deck to kind of finish off there as well. There's a couple of bits to go on the engine deck. There's a little cover there for the front piece. We've got our lights, light guards, they're sort of vision block things. And we got the holders then for the grid armour or metal armour, whatever. to stop RPGs apparently to getting into the engine area. And that's all that got to be done then, really. Okay, a couple of more little covers, they've got to go on. So where I am at the moment is I'm ready for a bit of painting, because if I go fitting on the side steps, as you see, it only leaves a tiny little bit there of track that's visible. It'll be very, very hard to get in there and get around there. So all you got to kind of do is you lift it up and you'll see in the, oh, you didn't bother getting in there at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the bottom section there. I'm going to get all that painted off. So I'm going to start off with giving it a black base with the NATO black, then going in with the NATO green and giving it its green colour, then going back over then with the rubber black and dark iron then on the tracks themselves. When all that is dry then and everything's done, I can mask off that section there with a bit of masking tape, nice and easy, and then I can fit on the side skirts and things and continue on then with the last little bit of construction, and then paint that without having to worry about what's underneath here. So the next step for me is to get that painted. When that's painted, we'll have a look at each step. Okay, first step will be the I get it undercoated. We'll have a look at that. Then it's got to get its green, and then the little bit of detail painting that gone in there, like with the tracks and the rubber and the wheels. So we'll have a look at that. Won't take too long. Well, not for you anyway. Might for me, because it might take it. Got to give time between for drying and things like that. So I'll get that done, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at that. Alright, so there she is. I'm after getting the black done. Okay, NATO black. Kind of shadow coat. Shows up a lot. Guess to see any imperfections that you might have in it. Any places that need filling. The black kind of just makes any imperfections and places like that stick out a bit. So any bit of work then you got further ado, you can see it and you can get it done then. Next step now for this is to get the green on it. Okay, get that into focus. Get the NATO green in there, which is the colour for the base and the wheels, the insides of the wheels. Oops. And in around there, okay, with the green. Then I'll do the tracks and the wheels then as well. The main colour then for the whole vehicle will be in the desert yellow, and that'll be the sort of the light. When I'm doing the camouflage, I go with the lightest colour first, and the lightest colour would be the desert yellow, then the green, then there's a little bit of brown in it. But that's further down the line. It's not in this update at all. This update is just finishing off the construction of it, and this bit of painting has to be done before I can finish off the construction, because there's pieces that go over that. We want to get it behind that. We want to be able to see what's there. So that's the NATO black done. Okay, I'll bring back the camera a bit there because we're not getting to see what I'm talking about. That's the NATO black done. Okay, it's just the shadow coat, base coat, undercoat, whatever you want to really call it coat. That's the coat that's on it anyway. And the next step, like I said, is to give it the NATO green, and we can get the green section done then. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll have a look at the green. Alright, so there's the green done. As you can see, in parts of it, it's still a bit wet, but the green is on now. And all that overspray, it's all going to be sorted out, because I'm going to do the rubber on the wheels and the tracks. I'm going to get them all done with the old traditional hairy stick. I'm going to go in there with them when all that's dry and get the tracks and the wheels done. Then I can get that masked off and finish off the last bit of the construction of it. and then we can see what the whole lot is like. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the detail painting on this. That's the tracks and the rubber on the wheels. Not really going to bother too much about the return rollers up there, because the side skirts are going to be on, you're not going to see them, so I'm not going to worry too much about them. More worried about the bottom section of track here and the wheels. So I'll go ahead, while I get them done, we'll have a look at that then when that's all done. Okay, so as you can see, it's still a bit wet paint in some of those areas there. Okay, so I'm going to leave that up, leave that dry for an hour or two. Then get started with the hairy stick. Get the tracks done and the rubber on the wheels. Like I said, then I can kind of carry on then with the rest of the construction. So I'll see you in a few seconds. I'll have all that done. We'll have a little see how that went, shall we say. Right, now I'm after getting all that painted up, okay, the underside of that. As you can see, I even went ahead and painted the return rollers, even though I didn't need to. So the wheels are all done, okay, the tracks are done. I have the underside done in green. Okay. What I used there was, I gave it a black undercoat, like we saw, the NATO black. Then I used the NATO green over that. We've got rubber black in the wheels. We've got dark iron on the tracks, dry brushed with silver, and that's basically it. So there's our tracks looking all nice and metally, okay, including the guide horns. Right, they're all dry brushed with silver, so they're all nice and ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mask off the tracks that I'm after doing. Here's one of the side skirts. Obviously it's going to be the other side that I've already made. No, it's this side. Okay. So when that fits in, it goes up in under there like that. We can see how much track we're going to actually see. Okay, that fits in there. Okay, that'll fit in there like that. So you only get to see that much of the tracks. Okay. Now, just a couple of little bits and pieces there to clean off. And then that's ready to go on. So like I said, I'm going to mask off this bottom section here. Yeah, mask off the bottom section and then continue on with the construction of it. There isn't very much left. Like I said, I have one of these already made, one of the side skirts. I have the pieces cut off now for the second one, which will finish off this page. Okay. There's all our tracks, they're all on, and we're on now to the side skirts. So all that's left to get done now is the back page, the last page. Right. So here we're adding on some linkage systems for opening up flaps and things, you know, cooling flaps and stuff. We got some covers to go on. We've got the cover here on over the exhaust, that's got to go on. Tow hooks, or tow cables, should I say, I beg your pardon, not tow hooks. More linkages, more covers. The cover there in the front. We got our sort of like a little vision block thing here. Okay, and we've got our lights and light covers. Then we've got all the holders then for the mesh armour. Got another two covers in here and here, and that's it. So that's all that's left in the construction. So I'm going to get the construction finished off. Okay, and we'll have a look at it. That'll be the end then for this video, and then we can start on the main painting of it. So like I said, I'm going to get stuck in. I'm going to get the last of the construction done, get all this masked off. I'm after searching and searching, and I'm out of bloody tomato tape. Yeah, I'm out of tomato tape. That's the only bit of tomato tape I've left, and that's too. I'm not going to use that to mask off a big area. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use ordinary masking tape, and this is actually quite sticky. So what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut off a piece. I'm going to use my cutting mat. Okay, so I'm going to stick that on it. Give it a couple of push downs and rip it up again 2 or 3 times. So it's still sticky, but not as sticky as what it was originally, because if it's too sticky, it is going to catch the paint and lift the paint in sections. But if you do that to it, you're just reducing the stickiness of it, so then it will work. Okay, so then we can kind of mask off that area there on the tracks. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads. I'm going to get stuck in, get all that done. When all that's done, then we'll come back, we'll have a look at it, we'll have a look at the final construction of it, and kind of an overall view on the ZVEZDA kit itself. So bear with me. Next up, we'll have a look at it all constructed. Right, and now I've just literally just this second finished the last of the construction. Okay, so the model is all together now, and what I did just there, I have bits of masking tape everywhere, haven't I? Stuck everywhere. Just goes to show you how neat I am, as in not neat. I don't pride myself on my neatness. We added on all this pipe work here, and some plates and covers and things. Okay, they all went on no problem, easy enough, even down to the light guards. They were actually a little bit fiddly, but they went together and they looked okay, you know. They weren't too hard. Then it came down here to these little holders here, right? They're freaking tiny, right? And there's 1, 4, 8, another 8, then 16 of these little things per side. Oh God, I'm not even showing you. Sorry. So there was all the cables and things that we put in. Okay. I'm watching what I'm doing, not watching the screen, unfortunately. Right. So there's all these little things I was talking about here. They're tiny little pieces, right? And what they are is they're the holders for the mesh. I found that using a slower setting glue, you know, like the Contactor Professional. Okay, this stuff here. That's the stuff I used, because I knew that the angle what I set them at needed adjustment once these ones you've started to fit these things here. Okay, there's little grooves in the back of these to show where each of these pieces go. Now, I don't mind telling you, it was fiddly, it was awkward, right? But we got there. Well, when I say we, I mean I. Now, if you can look down there, you can see them all the little things there that hold on the mesh grills. Okay, both sides. I don't really want to touch. It's the side of it yesterday. They're starting to solidify already, which is good. And I also think then we have our cables here at the back. Okay, camera's after dropping down a bit there now. So we have these cables then at the back, right? Now I got to readjust all my my masking before I go painting. But that's the construction. The construction is now complete, right? Turret's all done. The body of the tank is all done. So basically, that's the construction done. All that's left now is the painting. So I got a couple of tiny little bits of clean up here and there. Just little bits right where I kind of stuck to the glue and left a sort of a fingerprint mark in it. They come out very easy, very easy. Just a quick rub of a bit of a sanding stick, you'll get rid of them. So I have a couple of those to do. Tiny little spots and tiny little areas. I know where they are. Can't think of any now to come to think of it. I know that there's one along here somewhere. They're tiny little things anyway, but they'll show up in the paint, and you know yourself, it's going to be in the one place that I'm going to zoom in on when I'm doing the final reveal. And it's going to be this big fucking thumbprint or fingerprint in it. Right? So, our mesh is on. No, I know it doesn't look very straight, unfortunately, but it's on and I'm happy with it. I'm happy enough with that. It is, like I said, very, very fiddly, very, very finicky indeed. Pretty fragile, I would go as far as saying. But anyway, it's all done. All the linkages are in. All the other, all the little linkages in there. We've got our sort of our pipes in there, all nicely covered over with these little covering pieces. So everything is there, and it looks nice. It really does. It looks like an impressive machine. And like I said, the only really fiddly parts were those little holders there for the slat armour there at the back, protecting the engine compartment and the exhaust and all that. So that's it for the construction. That's it for this video. So in the next video now, I'm going to get it painted, okay, and weathered, and then the final reveal. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads. Hope you enjoyed this series so far. Don't forget, the series is sponsored by TCG Raptor, who are an online hobby company. They do have very small inventory at the moment, but stick with them. Keep it up there in your little favourites bar on your computer, and check into them every now and then, because they are adding stuff the whole time. And it's a small business, and I'm all about looking after the small businesses. Okay, available only in the US, unfortunately. And if you do go onto them and you do spot something that you like, stick it into your basket, and when you get to the checkout, and they'll give you a discount code, and I'll give you a discount code that will give you $15 off. Yes, John M15, just John JOHN M15, John M15, and that'll give you $15 off your order. So, without any further ado, I'll finish up. Don't forget to hit the like button. Comments below in the box. I always like to read the comments. I do answer them eventually. I do get around to answering them all. Any questions you'd like to ask me about the build or anything like that, I will let you know as much as I can. I do reiterate that I'm not a professional builder. I am not a professional at this. Okay, I'm a hobbyist. I enjoy my hobby, and I keep doing it as long as I enjoy it. And that's what you should do. Enjoy it. So go out and buy yourself a kit. Build it and enjoy it, and see the enjoyment that's there in it. Okay, it's sort of gentle satisfaction. So I'll catch you on the next one, lads. Stay safe. Don't forget to join me and Abs on Monday for the bum, and stay tuned for further updates on the T-14 Armata, when we'll be getting around to getting it all painted up and looking good. So until then, lads, take care, enjoy yourself, enjoy your modelling, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.